Hi everyone, it's Neil from the Four Corners, and welcome to probably the last in a series of in-depth Crystalized video essays that I've been making. I think this is the last thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to Crystalized, and unlike most of the other videos, this is a bit more on the critical side. So with that being said, let's talk about why the new ninja antagonists from Crystalized were Ninjago's greatest villain characters, almost. Now Ninjago has some great villains, my favorite mainly being because of his design has always been Unagami, but if we go with my favorite in terms of who I enjoy watching on screen the most, it's got to go to Garmadon or Lord Raz, maybe, depending on where his character goes after Dragon's Rising Season 2, Part 2. He has a lot of potential to be one of the greats as long as the writers stick his landing. But to understand why I think the new ninja were almost one of the greatest villains in Ninjago out of so many others while ironically being hated by a lot of the Ninjago community, it's important to walk through what a good villain on TV is. So a long time ago, I remember reading this article that resonated with me. It said something along the lines that the best villains in fiction are the ones that contrast the hero really well. Great villains bring out aspects of the heroes, which in turn is very interesting to see. And that's why a lot of Batman's villains are iconic. They all bring out a certain ugliness out of Batman that he has to conquer. They all directly oppose some ideology of the Batman, forcing him to come more in terms with his morality himself. Now in terms of Ninjago, the new ninja were that for the ninja in a whole new way. First of all, they were a type of threat that the ninja had never faced before, and Nia coming back on the verge of shattering was something that aided all that exponentially. It was like a little clock that was adding to the irritation and intensity of this part of Crystalized. They threatened to make the ninja irrelevant. They revealed that after all these years, the ninja had gotten a little too used to being important, to the point where they now have a hard time accepting that some other group can also do good. They played a hand in the ninja going fugitive, instigated a mini civil war because of the irritation that was building up. Lloyd shouting at the ninja after the new ninja had bested them was genuinely so powerful. Something about the emotional intensity just hit a new high for Ninjago.
I don't want to know our odds, Zane. I want to know what we're gonna do about this.
About what?
About the fact that we're being replaced. Do you even care?
I think it was because this issue of turning irrelevant is so relatable and such a real issue I could see the ninja facing, because real celebrities face that in real life all the time, and it's a very ugly thing to see. It kind of made the original ninja their own villain in a way, which I guess in hindsight was where they were trying to go with the Oni Lloyd storyline that went nowhere. On another note, the new ninja also make Ninjago so self-aware it's funny. They poke fun at the color-coded ninja concept and how cheesy the ninja team might have looked when they first started out. It really brought into perspective how far our ninja have come in terms of maturity. The first half of Crystalized will forever go down as something special to me, because they really did something very different for the story structure of Ninjago. Sadly, that's where it ends. Now it gets to why the new ninja were only almost good. So I'm usually on the good side of Crystalized for a number of reasons, and you can check out my video above if you're interested in why I like it. But one thing that always really annoyed me was the new ninja plotline went absolutely nowhere. Here's what I expected when Crystalized Part 1 ended. I thought eventually the ninja would find themselves back together as a strong team, and the new ninja would genuinely have more respect for the classic ones because they were a little bit rude in the beginning. It could have been a powerful scene as the city finally honors the classic ninja, as they should, with the new ninja at the forefront of all this. Then they would all work together or something and have an epic battle later, but just like a lot of plotlines in Crystalized, it went absolutely nowhere. The new ninja were zombified as a more funny gag earlier on. They never got to grow their personalities apart from being bratty and one-dimensional, which being one-dimensional worked in part 1 of the season, but in order to keep them relevant going forward, there needed to be more development, maybe backstories or why they do this in the first place. Was it money, admiration, jealousy, or something darker like Harumi's motivation, since the ninja are never able to prevent the massive collateral damage? I mean, that's why they went to jail in the first place in this season. The worst part to me is there seemed to be some magical resolution off screen because we see them help rebuild the monastery. The ninja have saved the city so many times before, so why would they change their minds and help now when they saved it this time? They were okay with arresting them after defeating Wojira or Unagami or countless other bad guys. I'm okay with things happening off screen and not being spelled out for us all the time, but in this case this was critical to the message of the season to feel complete. So in the end, the new ninja in my opinion really could have been one of my favorite villains, at least during part 1 of the season, because the Nia side plot was also adding so much intensity to it. But just like a lot of things in Crystalized, this good plotline was seemingly forgotten towards the second half. I remember watching part 1 and seeing them introduce the idea of a dysfunctional team that could barely fight some thugs, much less Ninjago's most threatening army. Irritation between Jay and Kai, excessive anger inside Lloyd, and the idea of the city the ninja protected for so long turning on them so quickly and wondering how this was all going to come together at the end. And then it didn't. And I hear that's because of writing issues in the writing room. There were a lot of restrictions, there were a lot of timeline budgets, and hence things just didn't go the way Tommy and Jason wanted it to back then. So hence, the new ninja are nowhere near the more iconic ones Ninjago has to offer. Thank you for watching this video. Comment down below which villain is your favorite from Ninjago. I'd love to see that. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.